going to talk about MPC. MPC goes mainstream. So if I could ask, oh, looks like you're already up here. We have Peyman from Fairblock Network, and we have Avishay. I think you are okay. Yeah, okay, Avishay. From Silver Labs, and we have Zhao from ARPA Network. And so, so first of all, I did not provide them the questions. This is a secret, and they're getting this firsthand. So it's going to be like reaction from them. Oh, that's number one. And the other thing that I'll just mention is, again, like I said, I'm super excited at the fact that there's so many people coming here, listening in on what this is about. Who knows what MPC is? Who's heard of it before? Yeah, last year nobody's hands were come up, but now people are understanding MPC and potentially the use cases. So I'm really excited to be with you guys. Could you really quick, one sentence introduction?
I'm Peyman, co-founder of Fairblock.
What does Fairblock do? What does Fairblock do?
Fairblock brings threshold encryption and MPC encryption, so for applications like concurrent protection, DeFi, gaming, access control. They are mainly to EVM chains and legacy connected chains, so we take care of the application.
Very cool.
Avishay from Zhao Labs. We're building secure computation network using technology called carbon circuits. Combines multiple technologies actually, not only carbon circuit, also secret sharing. Ultimately, it will be publicly verifiable, which is not common in MPC right now. The end game is to have roll out with privacy and that inherits the security layer completely.
My name is Jason, head of partnership at ARPA. That being said, I'm on the marketing side, so don't grill me on the technical questions. I'm here to learn as well. Joke aside. So ARPA is an object computation network using threshold signature schema. So it's a subset of MPC, and people can build different applications on top of it. And the first application we built as a use case is called Ramcast, which is a on-chain random number generator. So we wrap that into SDKs and provide that to like on-chain DApps, like lotteries, games, NFT generations, things like that.
Very cool stuff. Yeah, RNGs I think is something that people don't know that MPC can do, which is really cool stuff. Like true random number generation. Okay, so why don't we start with the questions? So this session is called When MPC Goes Mainstream. It's not if MPC goes mainstream. Can you tell me why you think it's a when and not a if?
Yeah, I think so. I'll divide my answer in the Web3 context and the whole world context. So in Web3, I think most of the things that we are doing is kind of limited, and even the simplest things like transfers or like voting or on-chain AI or gaming, you can't really do something serious other than token farming, because like transfers, you can see that all of the ground are right? With voting, other people are seeing your votes on chain. With gaming, you are showing your hands and people can counter. So that's like effectively, in real world, we don't call it privacy, but basically there is like some element of confidentiality, which makes blockchain real for real world. And outside the context of Web3, I think the whole world is kind of limited because of not being, like a lot of organizations not being able to share data. So like a typical example of that is like medical research. So medical research is kind of funny, like all of the data is based on 10 people, it is statistically insignificant. So that's because of the privacy. So we can, because of like things like MPC, you can basically have better research and hopefully something better for you. And like you can also expand it for insurance and any other serious thing.
Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is like really getting into the real world application, something serious, not meme coins or anything. There's something serious that needs to get done. You have to have a level of privacy, and MPC is the solution. Which is a little bit of a segue where we're going to talk a little bit about RWA. But yeah, why don't we go with Ash?
So I think MPC is already mainstream, just not for the masses. Corporates already use MPC for their own sake, and they care about their privacy. They just don't percolate to the end user. And our goal, as we operate in Web3 space, is to give privacy to everyone, and let everyone decide what they want to do with their data, rather than delegating the decision to the corporates. And yeah, I think very soon it will be available for everyone to transact online with privacy against corporates. So,
Yeah, so I apologize, Avishay, that. So what you're saying is that, if I kind of summarize what you're saying, it's really about bringing the same kind of use cases that the corporates have in a decentralized way.
So I think the use cases are a little bit different. For example, one major project that was deployed between Google and MasterCard was about hiding. They wanted to hide from each other the set of users that they have in order to learn what offline purchases. Like if you go to the burger shop and buy a hamburger with your card, then you buy it using your MasterCard, but you went there because you saw an advertisement that Google showed you. Then they wanted to know that they wanted to match that information, but they didn't want to give that information that they have to each other. So they care about themselves, they don't care about you. And our goal is to care about you. One example that actually they care about users is how Mozilla uses users' data. So they collect data about your usage in the browser, but they don't collect it to their own server. Actually, it's split between their server and Let's Encrypt, and they do statistics together. So they use MPC, and they care about the end user. So this is like a good case, but it stands out than the rest of the industry.
Yeah, thanks for the answer, first of all. And I think it goes back to like the users being able to own their own data. Right? That's basically the point. What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I want to add on to what the previous two speakers have said. First of all, MPC has already been industrialized and put into production, mostly by large centralized institutions. And I think what we're all trying to do here is to democratize that technology and then to empower that for rural users. So, but we started with the MPC, but we feel like currently the technology overhead is still very heavy. So we pivoted into a specific field of the MPC, which is the threshold signature schema. And we're trying to use that to enable like cross-chain masking and random number services, things like that.
Yeah, thanks for that. So I'm gonna go back to Jason here because it's gotta be fair, right? So now you're on the spot with the next question. So the question that I wanted to ask you is like, why should users care, right? Why should users care about this stuff? Because it's just cryptography. But I think what I will ask you instead is, can you give me some tangible use cases with TSS and MPC?
Okay, so I think the first general question that people get to know MPC is the $1 million or the millionaire question, right? So, for example, now we have 2 millionaires and they want to compare who's richer, but they don't want to show exactly how much they have. So how do they do that? One way is to find another third party, and they both tell the third party how much they have, and trust that third party to make the final judgment. However, that has the possibility of fraud by the third party or loss of information, right? So the millionaire could potentially reveal actually how they have to the public, which they don't want. So that's a simple example of what MPC could solve. you would just use a program, a system that it will not share like the entire like the bank accounts of that millionaire. I will put it into like different multiple parties, and each party don't know the full picture, but they will collectively compute an algorithm in the end will review who is the richer. So this whole process, and if we enable that into like industries like advertisements, financial services, a lot of different use cases where we need to interact, where we have a exchange of information. However, we still want to keep it private, then MPC technology will come into place.
Wait. So you're saying that right now the blockchain industry is known for financial fraud. What you're saying now is that when you layer on top MPC, you can use the blockchain to prevent financial fraud? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I was saying like.
That's what I think. I agree with you. I do. Yeah. I think being able to collaborate here together will help identify financial fraud. So I think that's a great use case. 100%. Avishay, what about you? Any practical use cases you can share with the audience?
So I think that the basic use case is to be able to transact and to pay with confidentiality. This is the most prevalent use case right now. And like, if you look at blockchains at the moment, then you see that fiat is actually the killer app for crypto. And so this is the basic use case. Above that, you can build anything. So DAOs and like organizations, they want to be operated with privacy. Otherwise, like, think about your business, you pay for employees, service providers, and everything. You cannot put everything public. Otherwise, you will go bankrupt. Like anything that you can think of, if it's business or profit, then there's like no-brainer to use privacy. If you are an individual, then if you are in this industry right now, you probably care about your data and privacy. If you come up like in 5 or 10 years, then you are a follower rather than leader. You wouldn't care. But there are laws that care about you. So, for example, GDPR is enforced not because every user cares about its privacy, but because governments care about privacy for their users. So, at least from other corporates, not from the government, that we care about the. Yeah.
Well, I think the users, will care as well, right? So, how many people here wants to disclose what you do with your money after your employer pays you? You want your boss knowing about what you do with your money after he pays you? I don't think anybody would want that. But if you are getting paid in crypto right now, that's what's happening. You're giving your wallet address, and your employer knows what you do with the funds after they pay you. So I think that's a very practical use case. But Peyman, what about you?
Yeah, I think, so my hot take is that, like, I don't know, EVs, we are building cars, so people shouldn't really care or know about the engines, which is quite cool for us, but it's more about where you can get with cars, and less about, like, what's the engines or the car industry. So I guess there's a lot of challenges, but, like, the thing is broken, right? So, like, the basic use case of blockchain is broken, and there's a very long way for us to build a transfer mechanism which has privacy, but also there's like a practical compliance as well as people are experiencing. Let alone a lot of other applications. So when we have privacy, people shouldn't really know about that. It's more about the things that are possible and they can enjoy that. So like things like either in terms of improved experience or like even saving money, losing less money. So for example, content protection, or like basically other games or things that are, but at the end of the day, again, they shouldn't know about that. It's like HTTPS internet.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that takes it right back into Web3 where you talk about front-run protection. And so maybe I'll put, my 2 cents in regards to real use cases, front-run protection is definitely something from a Web3 perspective that I think many people here can relate to. But what about RWA? RWA is coming, and it's not about magic money anymore. It's really about real-world assets that require real-world regulations and protections. And so, as an example, when you do auctions, the past NFT auctions, you've had a lot of people doing frontline where the person that is trying to sell the NFT will bid on that same NFT to create price manipulation. They'll bid like $80 million for this NFT to kind of pretend that this NFT is actually worth this much. And you can see this on the chain. And this happens because you can see the price in the chains. But in the real world, when you do auctions, there are things like Victory auctions, sealed bid auctions, privacy auctions. And these types of auctions are going to be a requirement in RWA, and without a technology like MPC, it's just not going to be possible. So I think that's another great use case that I would put my 2 cents on. I think we are running out of time, if I'm not correct. Can somebody tell me?
We started late, so you have more time for one more question.
Okay, we have time for one more question. All right, awesome.
Let's ask what's MPC.
What is NPC? Okay, let's try that. Yeah.
I
Let's
think
see.
it's
What
quite
is
funny
NPC?
that like you're talking about MPC vampire, but probably nobody knows what's MPC. And it's like a very interesting set of people here. So we are MPC in terms of NPC. There are like a lot of people running like a protocol. I think like you guys are working on 2PC, if I'm not wrong. Or...
Yeah, MPC.
Yeah, okay. So there is like a lot of people working on 2PC. And you guys are working on very short signatures. And I think this is one of the most important problems in crypto right now, that people tend to think about everything in a very simple way, and it's not unfortunately the way forward. Yeah, and it's not just very short signatures.
Okay, what does NPC mean? What is your definition of NPC?
There is a formal definition we all work with a lot. So the formal definition is that there are multiple parties, each one has its own input, and they want to compute things on their inputs. Now, most of the projects right now are not exactly that. Mainly MPC as a service, which means there are lots of users. We don't want users to have a huge workload on their phones, and they delegate their secrets into multiple entities that will do the computation for them. So MPC is where everyone is participating in computation, but most projects do MPC as service.
Jason, what is your definition of NPC?
Well, I think they explained it pretty well. I'll just go a bit more about what TSS is. So the MPC is a general purpose, or is a general framework that takes any form of input and then output the thing that you want. While threshold signature schema is a very specialized form where the only function is to compute, is to generate a private key. So the process is much simpler than general form MPC. But however, it still involves multi-party computing, and with each party don't know the full picture of the whole process and cannot control the full process.
Thank you, guys.